the left has played a very hypocritical and a very, very insensitive and communal role in this entire events of history. How did it do that? Well, to begin with, we have to understand what is the left, what is their ideology, and why have they been so partisan and so communal against atrocities committed against Kashmiri Hindus. I'm not saying that that they should be talking only about Kashmiri Hindus. They should be talking only about our ethnic cleansing and genocide. But if they are talking about, say, the communal riots in Gujarat, in which both Hindu and Muslims were killed, they should also be talking about Kashmiri Hindus who were ethnically cleansed. If they're talking about akhlaq, if they're talking about lynchings over beef eating, they should also be talking about Hindus who have been lynched to death. They should also be talking about Kashmiri Muslims who've been massacred and slaughtered by Pakistan sponsored terrorists. But they don't do that because their ideology does not permit to be fair, to be dispassionate, and to be objective about truth. Their ideology is essentially against democracy. The leftist ideology does not see democracy as a solution to the world. They do not see capitalism or free markets as a solution to the world. Their aspiration and their ambition is to overthrow democracies, is to dismantle capitalistic world. Their ambition is to have a global world order that revolves around the communist ideology. They want a world where the communists essentially get to rule. Now, from that perspective, they find Kashmiri Hindus, their genocide. They find Hindus who have been persecuted in India, the lot of Hindus who have been massacred by the left in Kerala, by the left in West Bengal. These issues are shoved under the carpet because if they come out, people are going to question them. People are going to basically call them out for their hypocrisy. And that is why their persistence and their efforts to create a narrative which is grounded in half truths, which is grounded in false impressions, and that is why the left ensures that whenever there is talk of Kashmir, they will talk of human rights violations committed by the Indian state, by Indian democracy. That is why they will never talk about what Pakistan did in Kashmir in the last 30 years. They will never talk about the small shopkeeper who was killed by terror groups because he had defied their threats and he had defied their diktats and opened his shop when the government reorganized Jammu and Kashmir last year on August 5th. So what has really happened is that the left has allied with the Islamist forces in the world as of today. They have betrayed their own principles of being religion neutral, because at the end of the day, leftism is also a proponent of a world without religion. It is also a proponent of a world without God. It's also a proponent of atheism and also rationalism and Marxist, logical dialecticalism. All those words are hollow, are completely abandoned when it comes to their own political alliances. They have allied with Islamist groups and Islamist forces to overthrow Indian democracy, to overthrow Indian secularism and pluralism, which is which is not just which is there not just because of our constitution, but also because of our history, because of our tradition, because of our culture, that India is open to everyone, India has been tolerant towards everyone, India is a pacifist force, and India has always opened its arms to everyone who fled persecution around the world. The left will continue with its betrayal of its own principles, and it will continue to ally with Islamist forces, because that's their tradition, that is their history, whether it was Stalin or whether it's whether it's Lenin. The left has always allied with forces which were in contradiction with its own principles and ideology, only to further their political goals. So nobody should have any illusions that the left is there with high morals and high ideals. Nothing of the sort. They are doing what every other political group in the world does to further their own political interests.